The original PlayStation wasn't just a successful console. It was the moment gaming grew up. It was where cinematic storytelling, 3D innovation, deep RPG systems, competitive fighting mechanics, and true survival horror were refined into forms that still influence the industry today. These aren't just great PS1 games. These are the titles that defined a generation and reshaped what video games could be. At number 10, Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back. This is where the Crash formula truly matured. The controls became tighter, the level design more creative, and the structure more flexible with hub-based progression. It struck a perfect balance between accessibility and challenge, introducing secrets and hidden paths that rewarded exploration. In a time when 3D platformers were still figuring themselves out, Crash 2 proved that precision, personality, and smart design could coexist in a fully 3D space. At number 9, Vagrant Story, a bold and complex action RPG that refused to hold the player's hand. Its deep weapon crafting systems, risk-reward combat mechanics, and mature political narrative made it stand apart from traditional RPGs of its time. Set in a dark, oppressive city filled with mystery, it delivered a grounded fantasy experience with cinematic presentation and layered storytelling. It wasn't made for everyone, and that's exactly why it remains special. At number 8, Tekken 3. This wasn't just another fighting game sequel, it was a revolution in 3D combat. By refining movement and adding true sidestepping, it gave players spatial control that changed competitive play forever. The roster was iconic, the animations were fluid, and the gameplay felt both accessible and deeply technical. Even today, many consider it one of the greatest fighting games ever made. At number 7, Resident Evil 2. A masterclass in survival horror design. Limited resources, intricate puzzles, and a haunting atmosphere created constant tension. Its dual scenario system encouraged multiple playthroughs, showing different perspectives of the same nightmare. It expanded on everything the original started and proved that horror games could deliver cinematic storytelling without sacrificing fear and gameplay depth. At number 6, Tomb Raider. More than just the debut of an icon, this game captured the feeling of isolation and exploration in a way few titles had achieved before. Massive interconnected tombs, environmental puzzles, and deliberate platforming created a sense of scale and danger. It trusted players to think, observe, and survive, laying the groundwork for modern action-adventure games. At number 5, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, a game that perfectly blended arcade fun with skill-based mastery. Its expanded trick system, level editor, and unforgettable soundtrack turned it into more than a sports title. It became a cultural phenomenon. Every run felt like a performance, every combo a test of creativity. It refined its predecessor's formula into something nearly flawless. At number 4, Gran Turismo 2. This was the moment racing games became serious. With nearly 650 cars and an unprecedented focus on realism, progression, and authenticity, it offered depth that no console racer had delivered before. It wasn't just about speed, it was about mastery, tuning, and commitment. It elevated racing simulations to a new standard. At number 3, Castlevania, Symphony of the Night. While the industry rushed toward 3D, this 2D masterpiece proved that design mattered more than technology. Its interconnected world, RPG progression systems, fluid combat, and legendary soundtrack created an experience that still feels modern. It didn't just succeed, it defined an entire subgenre that continues to thrive today. At number 2, Final Fantasy VII, a turning point for RPGs worldwide. As the first fully 3D entry in the series, it combined cinematic cutscenes with emotionally driven storytelling and unforgettable characters. It balanced intimate personal struggles with global catastrophe in a way that resonated deeply with players. Its influence expanded beyond gaming and helped establish PlayStation as the home of ambitious, story-driven experiences. And at number 1, Metal Gear Solid. This was the moment video games proved they could rival cinema in storytelling ambition. Blending stealth mechanics with complex political themes, psychological elements, and unforgettable fourth-wall-breaking moments, it redefined immersion. Every boss encounter felt meaningful, every codec conversation added depth, and every mechanic served the narrative. It wasn't just ahead of its time, it shaped the identity of modern blockbuster gaming. The PS1 era wasn't simply about nostalgia, it was about risk, innovation, and ambition. These 10 games didn't just define a console, they defined what video games could become.